Dear Leo, you're about to discover the 6 sacred numbers that were sent to unlock your financial destiny between August 20th and 22nd. This isn't clickbait. It's a direct message from the universe, aligned with a rare energetic window that's now opening for you. These numbers were not chosen randomly. They've been circling your aura for some time, waiting for you to slow down, listen, and receive. The jackpot is real, but it isn't just about sudden money. It's about a shift in your frequency that aligns wealth, health, and divine timing into one powerful current. And if your soul led you to this video today, Leo, it's because something deep inside you already knows. You're standing at the doorway of something extraordinary. Right now, there is a sacred rhythm moving through your days. It doesn't come with thunder or drama. Instead, it arrives like a quiet pulsing, a golden hum beneath the surface of your life. You might not be able to explain it, but you can feel it. Things are lining up. Not all at once, but steadily, unmistakably. You haven't come to this moment by accident. The universe doesn't operate on coincidence, it flows in precise patterns. And between August 20th and 22nd, that pattern carries 6 golden numbers coded specifically for your journey. Each one holds a different vibration. Each one is a doorway. Together, they form a map to stability, creative expansion, physical restoration, emotional clarity, and the financial blessings you've been praying for, whether with words or with silence. This is your moment, Leo. Not to chase, not to prove, but to allow. To align. To finally receive what you've been preparing for all along. So let me ask you this: what brought you here today? Was it a restless feeling? A repeated number you've seen? A deep knowing that something is shifting? Whatever it is, trust it. Because you're not just watching a video right now, you're stepping into a sacred conversation between your soul and the cosmos. And before we continue, I want to take a moment to thank you. Truly. Every time you comment, every time you like, share, or subscribe, you're not just supporting this message, you're helping create a space where others, too, can reconnect with divine timing and deep healing. Your presence here is part of something greater. And I honor that deeply. So don't just watch passively. Join in. Let this be your spiritual declaration. Comment below and affirm, I'm ready to unlock my wealth, health, and destiny through the 6 sacred numbers. Let the universe hear you. Let your energy participate. You are not powerless in this process, you are co-creating it. Because the truth is, Leo, you've already begun. The signs have been gathering. And now, it's time to see them clearly. Stay with me through every moment of this message. What you'll receive today could very well change the trajectory of your life. The alignment is here. The window is open. And your 6 golden numbers are ready to rise. Let's begin. There's something sacred about the number 37, especially when it arrives not as a prediction, but as a confirmation, a quiet nod from the universe that your inner world has begun to align with your outer reality. In numerology, 3 and 7 are not just digits. They are archetypes of creation and spiritual foundation. The number 3 carries the frequency of creative expression, emotional harmony, and authentic communication, while 7 speaks of spiritual wisdom, inner order, and long-term commitment. When they come together as 37, what emerges is a divine rhythm, of frequency that attracts stable income, peace in financial matters, and a kind of abundance that doesn't shout, but stays. This number isn't about winning a sudden jackpot. It's about becoming the kind of person who no longer needs to chase wealth because wealth begins to recognize you. To receive the energy of 37 is to become a steward of something enduring, something that holds value because you have created space for it to land and take root. You're not being asked to gamble or hustle. You're being asked to ground. To continue honoring the quiet rituals that have slowly built the architecture of a life that feels truly yours. From an energetic perspective, 37 often resonates with the heart and throat chakras, centers of integrity, alignment, and honest expression. If your money no longer feels chaotic. If your decisions around spending and saving come from a place of clarity and calm. That is the number 37 in motion. This is money that comes from living in harmony with your own truth, not what others expect, not what trends dictate, but what feels aligned in your body, your soul, and your purpose. In tarot, this energy closely resembles the union of the Hierophant and the Empress. The Hierophant governs structure, tradition, and value. She is the keeper of long-term systems that stand the test of time. The Empress, on the other hand, is fertile, nurturing, and creative. She multiplies what you give attention to. When these two archetypes meet, something beautiful happens. Systems that work begin to bear fruit. The soil you've been tilling finally produces. And that's what 37 feels like. Not a windfall, but a harvest that's been patiently awaited and is now undeniably ready. Picture a gentle stream in the forest. It doesn't roar like a waterfall. It doesn't flood. It flows. Constant, consistent, sustaining life all around it. That's the vibration of 37. Financial peace doesn't need to be loud. It needs to be true. And it needs to be yours. And so I invite you now, Leo, to pause and reflect. What is one financial behavior you've cultivated that brings you pride, not because of how much it gives you, but because of how much it reflects who you truly are? Maybe it's tracking your spending without fear. Maybe it's making one conscious decision a week to invest in nourishment instead of impulse. Maybe it's as simple as saying no to what doesn't align with your values. Whatever it is, write it down. Keep it sacred. For the next 3 days, let that one behavior be your offering to the universe. Your way of saying, I am ready for stability because I already live in alignment. This is how you communicate with the divine, through small, grounded actions repeated with presence. This is how wealth becomes not just something you hope for, but something that recognizes where it belongs. The number 37 is not a promise of magic. It's proof that you are the magic. And now is the time to let it flow. When the number 14 enters your energetic space, it does not arrive with drama, it arrives with clarity. It signals a precise moment in time when your body, your choices, and your financial flow are ready to reconnect through a single center, your inner power. Numerologically, 14 is a marriage of will and structure. The number 1 represents initiative, leadership, and the spark of intention. The number 4 speaks of grounded systems, discipline, and healthy boundaries. Together, they ask, are you living in a way that supports your strength from the inside out? This isn't about control, it's about coherence. And to understand 14 more deeply, we must turn inward to the solar plexus chakra, your third energy center, which resides just above your navel. This is the seat of personal power, the energetic space that governs your confidence, digestion, self-worth, and decision-making. When this area is energetically blocked, you may find yourself second-guessing your financial choices, rushing meals, or living with a low-level tension that clouds your clarity. But when it is aligned, something shifts. You feel rooted in your center. Your energy radiates without effort. And you begin to attract experiences, especially financial ones, that reflect your inner stability. You see, the stomach isn't just where we digest food, it's where we also digest life. Emotions that go unprocessed often get stored in the body, and for many people, they settle in the gut. When you carry anxiety, uncertainty, or pressure around money, your body feels it first. Your breath shortens. Your posture changes. Your decisions become reactive instead of grounded. That's why this message is so important. Because healing your financial life may begin not in your bank account, but in your belly. Imagine your stomach as a sacred vault, a storehouse of intuitive wisdom. When it is light and clear, you receive signals more easily. You sense when a decision feels aligned. You know when something is too much. You recognize when it's time to pull back or step forward. The number 14 invites you to build rituals that restore this internal channel, because your financial intuition does not speak in logic, it speaks in sensation. This is where the energy becomes practical. Start simple. A warm glass of lemon water each morning doesn't just hydrate, signals to your body that you are paying attention. 10 minutes of meditation focused on your solar plexus isn't just about mindfulness, it reclaims territory that may have been overtaken by stress. And writing down your spending, not with shame, but with awareness, turns money into an act of self-respect. Let me say something gently but clearly. When you show up for your body with devotion, the universe shows up for your finances with direction. Your body is not separate from your abundance, it is the first temple of it. If your energy has been scattered, if you felt unsure about where your money is going or how to plan your next step, take heart. The energy of 14 is here to reset the system. Not with force, but with consistency. Not with fear, but with intention. So as you walk through this sacred window of alignment, I encourage you to approach your health and your money not as separate tasks, but as reflections of the same inner clarity. You are not here to just survive, you are here to embody trust. And that trust begins each morning, with one breath, one choice, one quiet decision to live from your center again. The number 14 isn't asking for perfection. It's asking for presence. And in your presence, everything begins to realign. When the energy of number 06 emerges on your path, it does so with the soft force of truth, the kind of truth that whispers rather than shouts, but leaves a lasting imprint on the way you move through your relationships, your energy, and even your sense of worth. This number doesn't come to complicate your life, it comes to clarify it. And at its core, 06 is about returning home, not just to the people you love, but to the version of yourself that knows how to love without losing your light. Numerologically, 0 is the sacred void, the space where anything is possible, and 6 is the vibration of connection, care, family, service, and emotional responsibility. Together, 06 doesn't just ask you to begin again, it asks you to begin again with compassion. But here's the nuance that often gets overlooked. Compassion is not the same as sacrifice. Love is not the same as depletion. Being available does not mean being accessible to everyone. If you've been giving pieces of yourself away in order to keep the peace, if you've been saying yes when your body is silently screaming no, if you've been holding space for others while your own soul feels unsupported, then this number is coming through you like a filter, gently asking, What would happen if you stopped apologizing for needing your energy back? From a spiritual perspective, number 06 often mirrors the archetype of the lovers reversed in tarot, a moment of deep discernment, when choices must be re-evaluated not through the lens of obligation, but through alignment. Are the people in your life helping you grow, or are they unconsciously asking you to shrink so they can remain comfortable? This is not about blaming others. It's about finally honoring the spaces within you that have been aching for recalibration. Your nervous system knows. Your breath knows. Your subtle exhaustion knows. There is a certain kind of fatigue that doesn't come from doing too much but from staying too long in environments where your spirit is misunderstood. And no amount of financial strategy, green smoothies, or productivity hacks can heal what is leaking through the cracks of unguarded boundaries. So the invitation now is subtle, but transformative. Protect your energy like you would protect something sacred, because it is. And your abundance cannot land in a field that's constantly being drained. Your physical health cannot stabilize when your emotional space is constantly invaded. Money cannot find roots where your self-worth has been trampled. One of the most powerful forms of healing is silence. Not the silence of disconnection, but the silence that allows clarity to rise. Give yourself permission, even if just for 24 hours, to withdraw from the noise. Observe who still tries to reach for your energy even when you've gone quiet. Notice what patterns pull you back into roles you never asked to play. This isn't about walking away from everyone. It's about walking back to yourself. Start with one thing, one behavior you often perform just to keep someone else comfortable. Just for today, choose not to perform it. Let your energy recalibrate in the stillness. Let your nervous system feel what it's like not to brace for guilt. You are not here to be the healer of everyone else's wounds. Especially not at the cost of reopening your own. 06 is the number that asks you to come home, not to the house you live in, but to the sanctuary within your body that remembers who you are when you're not performing, fixing, or pleasing. You cannot pour from a vessel with a slow leak. And you no longer have to. Let the people who love you meet you where you are, not where you've exhausted yourself to be. That's how healing begins. That's how wealth begins. That's how power returns. Quietly. Boldly. From within. There are moments in your journey when hesitation feels louder than clarity, when the road ahead is dim, and you find yourself waiting for the perfect sign, the perfect timing, the perfect moment to act. But when the energy of number 41 enters your field, it gently reminds you that the path does not need to be fully lit, only the next few steps do. This number is not a shout from the universe. It's a quiet, focused beam like a headlamp cutting through early morning fog. You don't need to see the entire destination, you simply need to trust what's right in front of you. Numerologically, 4 is the architect. It builds foundations, honors structure, and creates reliability. 1 is the spark. It initiates, moves forward, and dares to say yes. Together they become 5, the number of purposeful change, of motion, of divine redirection. This is not chaos. This is transformation with intention. The kind of change that arrives because your soul is ready for it, even if your mind isn't quite sure how to begin. In the language of the tarot, this energy closely mirrors the Chariotean archetype of focused momentum, internal alignment, and forward movement rooted in self-trust. The chariot doesn't wait for external validation. It moves because something deeper within has chosen direction. That's what the number 41 asks of you now. Not perfection. Not total certainty. But a decision followed by one clear, courageous action. Imagine, if you will, a warrior stepping out before dawn. The world around them is still cloaked in shadow, the destination hidden in mist. But they don't turn back. They take a breath, tighten the straps on their armor, check the compass in their heart, and begin to walk. That is the spirit of 41. It doesn't promise ease, but it promises progress. And sometimes, progress is the breakthrough. So if there's a decision you've been circling, a project you've delayed, or an idea that keeps pulling at you in quiet hours, this is your moment. Not to force, but to initiate. Choose one small thing you've been putting off, and do it within the next 72 hours. Not because you know exactly what will happen next, but because choosing to act is how you reclaim your power. Action is clarity. Even imperfect action sends a signal to the universe, I am ready to move. Then, as you begin to walk forward, something profound happens. The energy of 19 begins to rise like a subtle shift in the air of frequency that speaks of closure, renewal, and the quiet beauty of letting go. In numerology, 1 and 9 combine to form 10, a sacred completion, a cycle gently closing so something more aligned can take its place. But this ending isn't heavy, it's liberating. 19 arrives when your soul has done enough learning in one form, and is ready to receive in another. In tarot, this mirrors the sacred dance between the Death card and the Ace of Pentacles. Death, as misunderstood as it may be, is never about loss, it is about release. And right on its heels comes the Ace of Pentacles, new value, new opportunity, new grounded abundance that only emerges after the old weight is put down. Picture yourself standing by a river. In your hand is a stone you've carried for a long time, an expectation, a regret, a version of yourself that no longer fits. You gently place it into the current. And as the water shifts to carry it away, the river changes course. That is what 19 does. It moves the waters of your life not through resistance, but through surrender. Now is the time to write a letter of thanks to yourself, not because everything has worked out perfectly, but because you didn't give up. Because you kept showing up. That perseverance is sacred. And it has opened the door for a blessing to return, not in the same form you once expected, but in a way that will serve who you are now. So breathe. Walk. Let go. And prepare. What you thought was gone forever is already on its way back to you, but it's wiser now. And so are you. When the number 03 rises in your field, it arrives not as a demand but as a gentle invitation. An invitation to stop hiding the most luminous parts of who you are. To stop editing yourself for the comfort of others. To stop believing that your light must be dimmed in order to be loved. In numerology, the number 3 is the purest form of self-expression. It governs creativity, communication, playfulness, and the joyful act of being seen not just for what you do, but for who you truly are when no one is watching. Paired with the sacred 0, the void from which all beginnings emerge, 03 becomes the energy of starting again with your full self intact. This moment in your journey isn't asking you to be louder. It's asking you to be truer. There is a big difference. You've likely learned, whether consciously or not, that safety sometimes means staying quiet. That success sometimes means conforming. That acceptance sometimes requires shrinking. But the vibration of 03, especially under the current cosmic frequency, says otherwise. It says that your personal truth, when shared with courage, has the power to unlock blessings in ways you could never force through strategy or effort. The connection between this number and the throat chakra cannot be ignored. This is the energetic center that governs your voice both literally and metaphorically. When blocked, it can show up as hesitation, fear of being misunderstood, or the habit of biting your tongue to keep peace. But when open, it becomes a powerful current of authenticity that draws in aligned relationships, opportunities, and yes, financial flow. The more you speak, write, move, or create from your real self, the more the world begins to respond with what you've been waiting for. But it starts with presence, with visibility, with choosing to show up. In the tarot, this energy is best embodied by the sun, bright, unapologetic, nourishing. The sun does not worry if its warmth is too much. It simply shines, and in doing so, allows life to flourish all around it. That is your role now. Not to prove or perform, but to be. To be honest. To be whole. To be unfiltered in your joy and your purpose. This is not vanity. This is vitality. So many people live behind veils waiting for permission, approval, or a guarantee that they won't be rejected. But 03 teaches us that the moment you make peace with being visible, the moment you let yourself be heard without scripting every word, is the same moment when abundance begins to recognize where it belongs. The universe does not fund your performance. It funds your presence. It invests in your vibration. And when you align with the truth of who you are, you move from wishing for success to embodying it. This is why I encourage you today to do one simple thing: create from your heart. Post something that's been living in your notes for too long. Share a story that makes your voice tremble a little. Speak your insight, even if you're not sure how it will land. That one act might not change your life overnight, but it shifts the frequency you're living in. And that shift is everything. The world is not waiting for your perfection. It's waiting for your presence. Your lived wisdom. Your realness. Your frequency. You don't have to force open any doors. When you show up as you are, the right ones open on their own. And the more you appear fully, honestly, lovingly, the more the universe says, yes. That's the one I've been waiting to bless. Let that be the seed you plant today. And let everything that grows from it remind you, your voice is sacred. And you are allowed to be seen. Dear Leo, you were never meant to follow the crowd, you were meant to lead the way. And right now, as this window between August 20th and 22nd opens, you are being invited to do something extraordinary. Step into the frequency of divine wealth, vibrant health, and undeniable personal power. These 6 numbers 37, 14, 06, 41, 19, and 03 are not just digits. They are cosmic symbols, vibrating in alignment with the deepest desires of your soul. They are the universe's way of saying, you are ready now. Each number touches a core part of you. One activates your confidence with money. Another stirs your emotional healing. One enhances your communication. Another sharpens your intuition. One heals your relationship with your body. Another opens your creative channel. You didn't come across these numbers by accident. You were led here because something sacred within you is unlocking, and these numbers are the keys. But remember, you are not here to chase blessings. You are here to become the person who naturally receives them. You are not asked to struggle for what's already yours, you are only asked to say yes, to align, and to move with the current of your higher destiny. The blessings you seek have been circling you all along. Now, they are ready to land. The question is, will you make yourself available? You see, wealth isn't only about bank accounts. It's about peace in your body, clarity in your mind, love in your relationships, courage in your decisions. When you embrace these 6 codes fully, not just as lottery numbers, but as soul frequencies, you begin to radiate a new identity. And that identity is what unlocks the door you've been knocking on. So I ask you, from the depths of your heart, which of these 6 numbers speaks the loudest to your soul right now? Which one feels like it was sent just for you? Take a deep breath. Trust your intuition. Then share your answer in the comments, not just as a reaction, but as a declaration that you are ready to receive. When you name it, you claim it. This message found you for a reason. Let it be the moment you finally said yes, not to fate, but to your true self. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful jackpot is not the one you win. It's the one you become. If this message stirred something in your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness, and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss another divine transmission. You are part of something much bigger than you think. And this is just the beginning.